You're listening to the Hustled Up Podcast. We're Holly and Laura, besties since birth, cleaning business owners, multi-passionate doers, and founders of the Hustle Haven, a modern business education and networking collective built for fellow entrepreneurs who crave growth, support, and real connection. Now, we're your go-to girlies for the real side of entrepreneurship. We're covering wins, fails, and the messy middle. So come on in and let's talk branding, booking, burnout, and everything in between. If you're in serious need of tips, tea, total transformation, and that let's freaking go energy, you're in the right place. Grab your earbuds, turn up the volume, and let's hustle up. Hello, friends, family, followers, listeners, supporters. Welcome back to another episode of the Hustled Up Podcast. I am one of your hosts. My name is Holly. And if you are wondering, girl, where is Laura? She was sailing the seven seas last week. She was on vacation on a dance fitness cruise. And so I told her, girl, don't worry about it. I got this episode. And today I am literally recording this on January 26th. It is one day after the massive snowstorm. And this poor girl is just going through hell trying to get home, but she is en route and will be flying home tonight, which is super exciting. So not to worry, she'll be back next week, but I figured I will take on this episode and I am super duper excited because I have a really, really good episode planned for you guys. And you guys already know that I am the planner girly. Like I have been using planners for honestly so long now. I think I started planning in 2018. So it's been a very, very long time. And I have used every planner in the book. Like I have used different types of planners, different brands of planners, different book binds and different layouts and all of these things. And right now I am in a beautiful hemlock and oak. If you want the details on this, I am more than happy to give them to you. She's really, really great so far and I'm really enjoying her. And you guys can see that if you're watching this on video. If you're listening to audio, you won't be able to see it. But if you're watching on video, you guys will see like I really do use it a ton. Now, you guys know I'm an aesthetic girly, but that is actually not what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about function and how your planner is so much more than just a calendar. It is literally a tool to run your life. And planners are still powerful in 2026 and they are not going anywhere. So what we are going to be talking about today is the absolute non-negotiable things that you need to be writing down in your planner, whether you plan in a book or you do digital, whatever it is. The things you need to be writing down in your planner to have the most productive and organized and badass year ever. So if you have a planner and you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be writing down and you're forgetting things and you're still just not feeling quite as organized as you'd like to be, this is the episode for you. Stay tuned. If you own a home service business and you are struggling to juggle quotes, invoices, client reminders, communications across every single platform, the works, you need to stop what you're doing and listen to me right now. Jobber has been keeping my business running smooth for years. I swear by it, and I need to tell you all about it. From managing 11 technician schedules to invoicing to automated client reminders and so much more, Jobber makes my life easy. This CRM has allowed me to truly work on building my business while keeping everything organized instead of chasing down paperwork. And here's the best part. As an official Jobber brand partner, I know I am still freaking out over this myself. I have a code that is going to not only get you a 14-day free trial, but 20% off for 6 months. Just head on to go.getjobber.com/Holly. Again, that's go.getjobber.com/Holly to claim your savings. There are multiple plans to choose from that support a multitude of business sizes and budgets. So what are you waiting for? Get your business organized and get ready to scale with ease with Jobber. Again, that's go.getjobber.com/Holly. Do it today. You will not regret it. I promise. There are certain things, like these are like the core things that every planner should include. And the first thing, and this kind of goes without saying, is your tasks and your to-do lists. And I want to say first and foremost that your brain is not meant to carry everything. And in fact, if you are just trying to carry everything in your brain, all the things that you have to do, you are going to get overwhelmed. You are going to get burned out. You are going to have anxiety. Your cortisol levels are going to rise, sis. And we want to avoid that in 2026. So you want to make sure you have daily lists. And I learned this from when I was planning in the full focus system last year, but you really want to do like a top three. These are the three things that you really want to prioritize getting done that day. And then you can add extra to-dos to that list, but it would be things that you're okay rolling to a future day, like your ongoing and running list. And that's the beautiful thing about writing them down. And I do this in my planner as well. When I am writing my to-dos, let's say there's something I didn't get to do from yesterday, I'm going to go into yesterday's spread and I'm going to look to see what I accomplished and what I didn't. And I'm going to simply take the things that I did not do and jot them down for today. And then I remember, and they will eventually get done. Is everything going to get done every day when you write it down? Probably not, but it's going to help keep your brain organized on what you need to do and what the priorities are as well. So to-dos and task lists are probably one of the most important things. The next thing that you want to be writing down is appointments. And again, this is another one of those like common sense ones, but if it has a time that it needs to happen or that you need to be there, it needs a home in your planner. And when I say appointments, I mean everything. I mean the appointment for the oil change for your car. I mean your child's soccer game. I mean your all of your doctor's appointments, your dentist appointments, all the appointments for your family, your husband's doctor's appointments, your vet appointments. All of these appointments, whether they are personal or they are business, they need to go in there. And there's a few reasons for this. Number one is that you don't want to forget it. Like you don't want to forget to show up. And sometimes in some cases, like for example, with a hair appointment or something like that, if you forget to show up, sometimes they have a card on file and they will charge you a cancellation fee. So now not only are you out the actual appointment, you probably have to wait weeks to get yourself back in, but now you're also out some money because they're charging you late cancellation fees or no-show fees and things like that. Another thing that this helps is it helps you to be a better family member, a better business owner. And I know that's like heavy, right? To say like this is going to help you be a better person. But it's true because it's going to help you avoid burnout, number one, which when you are avoiding burnout, you're everybody performs better in every aspect of their life when they're not dealing with burnout. But this is also going to help you stop overbooking things. So if you are somebody who booked like a doctor's appointment at the same time as your child's dance recital, probably not a good look as a parent. So you definitely don't want to be doing things like that. And while you can have it all in your brain and you probably know like this dance recital is this day, when you are at the doctor's office and they're booking that follow up, if you don't have your either digital planner or your paper planner to look into and say, let me make sure, let me double check this and make sure I have nothing on this day, there is a chance you can double book. And once you start overbooking, that's when you start getting overstimulated. That's when you start burning out. That's when you just want to throw in the towel and just give up on it altogether. So you definitely want to make sure you are writing all of your appointments for everybody in your life. The next thing you want to be writing down, and this is it kind of goes in line with your appointments, is you want to be writing down, and I know this sounds weird, hear me out, fam. You want to be writing down your errands. And this is truly the forgotten like productivity MVP. And this is because you need to write down the things that you need to do that don't require an appointment. So hear me out. For example, and I love to use this one because I am an Amazon, I'm an online shopping girly. You guys know this. If you know me, you know this. And if you don't know me now, you know this. And so if I ever need to make an online return, I usually need to go to like my local Kohl's or my local UPS drop off or just the post office, whatever. I don't really have an appointment to do that. I just have to make sure it gets done. And in most cases before a deadline. And so I can leave the package by the front door that I'm returning. I will still forget. If it is not in the planner where it says like return this, stop at Kohl's and drop off this return, it's not getting done. So if it has a deadline, you want to make sure that you write your deadline down because you do not want to drop off a return, for example, when it's too late. And you also don't, you just want to make sure you're meeting your deadlines with these errands. And if it doesn't have a deadline, just make sure you write it down anyway. And at some point, it should probably be in your top 3 on that task list that I mentioned earlier in this episode, because at some point it does have to get done. And even though errands may not always feel as important as some other things on your list, like those appointments or like those work tasks or things like that, you still want to make sure at some point they get done. So you do want to include them in your top 3 at some point. So errands, that's another thing you have to be writing down in your planner. The next thing that you absolutely want to be writing down, and this really, I mean, Laura and I have spoken about this a million times on this podcast, is your goals. And we mean all of your goals. Your short-term goals, what do you want to accomplish this month or quarter? Your long-term goals, what do you want to accomplish by the end of the year? And your habit goals, and we spoke about these, but what habits do you want to create this quarter, this month, by the end of the year, in 6 months, whatever it is? These goals need to be living inside your planner, and the planner itself needs to be living with you at all times. So that's why my planner is relatively small. Like, I won't use an 8x11, like 8.5x11 standard sized like paper planner. I always go for something a little bit smaller so that I can carry it with me, because this planner is going to be just as important as your cell phone. Like, this planner is going to be your absolute lifeline, and you want to make sure that you are always able to reference it. Now, with the goals, you need to make sure that you check on them regularly. This is why writing them down in like a dusty notebook isn't going to cut it, because you need to visit them regularly. And not only do you need to write the goals down, and you need to follow, and we've discussed this briefly, we discussed this on our goal setting episode with Kathy Merchant. So I'm definitely going to have to make sure I link that to the description or in the show notes. So I will. So make sure you keep an eye out for that if you want like a really robust goal setting episode. But you need to make sure, instead of putting them in a notebook and kind of just setting and forgetting, you need to make sure you write them down, and then you need to make sure you break them down. So you need to make sure you break them down into smaller attainable steps, especially because sometimes these goals are big, hairy, audacious goals. How are you going to get there? How are you going to achieve that maybe revenue number that you're shooting for, or that weight loss goal that you're shooting for? What are the steps you're going to take to achieve that? So you want to make sure you're writing that down. And once you do that, you can incorporate those smaller steps into those daily to-dos and task lists, so that you can actually work towards achieving these goals. And this is the same with the habit goals. So whether, let's say it's walking your dog for 20 minutes a day. I feel like it's not my exact habit goal, but it's something I do want to prioritize in my life. If that's your habit goal, like walking for 20 minutes a day, you should be including walking for 20 minutes a day in your daily task list. So I hope that me explaining this is showing you that everything in your planner works together. It's like all of these components that you put in your planner, they work as a system. It's like all of the little planner cogs in the planner machine. And so this is how you're going to achieve your goals in 2026. And then, speaking of habit goals, another thing that you should be including in your planner are habit trackers. So this might be like tables, or maybe you can buy stickers and things like that to help you keep track of these habits. But the habits are, whether it's like an actual habit goal that you've set or just a habit that you want to get better at, these habits are actually what are going to help your goals become reality. And a couple of things that are important to note when you track your habits is that consistency is more important than perfection, and simple is sustainable. So, things like, for example, for me, like, I think the habit goal that I had set was to move for 20 minutes a day. So that's simple, right? Like 20 minutes a day movement, whether that's walking on my little treadmill here at the house, or walking my dog every day, or going up and down the stairs in our office every day, whatever it is, it's something that's simple, achievable, and attainable. And so you want to track when you are doing them. And honestly, I this is like going on a little bit of a tangent, but when I'm able to check off that I did it every day, so whether you keep track of it on like a weekly or a monthly basis, which I recommend doing like weekly or monthly, when you're going and checking it off, okay, I did it on Monday, I did it on Tuesday, I did it on Wednesday, there is a sense of accomplishment that truly just can't be beat. And so I think that not only does this help hold you accountable, but it also just feels good when you're able to start checking things off. So you definitely not only want to figure out what your habit goals are and write them on your to-do lists every day, but you want to keep track of it, see if there are any patterns or things like that as well. And then another thing that I think is super important to add to your planner. Now, this wouldn't go in your planner like on a daily basis. Maybe it would go in every month or at the end of the planner or at the beginning of the planner, is something that I like to call a parking lot. So this is where it's basically a page for your brain dumps. And I don't know about you guys, but I brain dump so much, and I need to, because I get all of these crazy good ideas or like things that I remember that I just have to jot down somewhere. And maybe it doesn't have a perfect spot within the planner yet, like within the ecosystem of your planner yet. Or maybe you remembered an appointment or something, but like you can't like find like you don't have time to flip through and find the page that it's supposed to go on or whatever it is. It's just a way to get the ideas and the thoughts and the just things out of your head so that you can focus. You park it in the parking lot and you revisit it later. This is really good for people like me and probably like you if you're listening to this podcast, an entrepreneur and an overthinker, because I am constantly swirling my brain with ideas and things I have to do. And like, I can't figure out when I'm going to do them or where I'm going to do them, but they just need to go somewhere. They need to get out of my head onto the paper where they can go and stay parked until I'm ready to revisit them later. So when you use your brain dump pages, it helps to go back over them because there may be things you wrote in there and parked in that parking lot that you need to visit later, that you need to put on a certain day in your planner later, or that you need to make sure you get done that needs to go on one of your daily task lists or something like that. So you always want to make sure you have a parking lot brain dump section. Like, I think this is like one of the most important and underrated things that you should be including in your planner. Okay, we're making our way down the list. I have a few more and I am so excited. I hope that this is really resonating and giving you guys really good ideas so that you can really be the best version of you this year. Another thing I love to do is an ideal week page. Now, this is basically it's a way of designing your life before you actually start living it. I mean, you're already living it, but it's designing your life. So you're mapping out on this ideal week page. Now, in the Full Focus Planner, this is where I learned this from. This is from the Full Focus Planner. They give you like a weekly spread, and it's like an hourly schedule, and it's Sunday through Saturday. And you basically use it to map out your recurring commitments or things that you want to do on a recurring basis. So this is a way that you can really protect your energy too, because if you have something that you want to commit to, and it doesn't have to be something that you have to commit to, it could be something that you just want to commit to. You want to be able to prioritize that. So for example, on my ideal week last year, when I wrote it down, I didn't do it as much as I would have liked to, but I wanted to make time to stream on Twitch every Monday and Thursday. So I like to have fun with games. I'm a gamer girly. I have so many passions. It's a low-key annoying. But I wanted to do that. So on this ideal week spread on Monday and Thursday between 7:30 and 9:30, I highlighted it in a certain color because I color code mine too. That's a whole other story. And I wrote stream Twitch or whatever I wrote, stream on Twitch, whatever. And so when possible, that was what I committed to on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then on Thursdays during the day, no, between certain times, I can't remember, honestly, it's only ideal week. I could reserve those days and times for nail appointments. So then I know not to really like put other things during those time slots because I'm going to be doing somebody's nails during that time. And I also know that I'm not going to book a nail appointment on a Monday, for example, because that's not in the ideal week unless I absolutely have to. Unless somebody like really needs their nails done on a Monday, I'll do it. But I know that my ideal week means that I am not doing nails on Mondays. This is when I also put my recurring meetings in. So for example, in our coaching group, I am in a cohort where we have meetings every Wednesday at 3:00. I think it's from 3 to 4:30. So I have that marked in my ideal week. So this is a good way of giving you like an eagle eye view of what you want your week to look like and what it should look like. And revisiting it every so often can actually remind you of things that you should be doing or reserving time for, even if it's something like your hair wash day. You can include that on your ideal week to make sure that your hair wash routine stays intact and that your hair is healthy as ever. So I think that this is really good. It's quite eye-opening for overcommitment. It helps you protect like your schedule. It helps you protect your energy, like I said. So this is something again that you would put like either in the beginning of the planner or at the end of the planner. Like you don't do this every week or every month or anything. You could always change it every quarter, that because life is always forever changing. So your ideal week could change from quarter to quarter. But yeah, so I think this is super helpful. Hopefully you guys try it out and let me know if you do, because I feel like this one is not as common as some of the other ones I've mentioned. Okay. Another thing, and we talked about this recently too, so I'll make sure I link this episode, but your word of the year. I write my word of the year in my planner, and I have a whole page for it. And I think I showed you guys the page when I first did it, but it's basically the word that is going to help guide your entire year. And it kind of acts, so here's my word, steady. You guys know this. And it acts as a filter for your decisions throughout the year, your commitments throughout the year. It's about doing things with intention. It's about making decisions with intention. And I think that's something that is super important to note is that when you have your word and then it comes time to make a decision or do something or go somewhere or whatever, to say, does this align with my word? I think that is really going to help guide you throughout the year and set the path for how you want your year to go and what you want your year to look like overall. So if you haven't chosen your word of the year yet, it's not too late. We spoke about this again. Like I said, was it last week? No, it was a few weeks ago. But either way, if you haven't chosen it yet, really think about what you want your year to look like and find a word that helps you feel aligned with that. And then use that word and visit that word. That's why you write it down. You don't set the word. I just smacked my face with the planner. If you're watching the video, you probably saw that. But if you don't write it down, you're going to set that word and you're going to forget that word. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you revisit it every month, every quarter, at the end of the year and say, how did I put this word to practice? How did I make sure that I protected myself and my mental energy and in some cases my physical energy by putting my word to practice? So and how can I make sure I continue to put this word to practice and let it guide me? So make sure you revisit it. That's why it's important to write it down in your book instead of just choosing the word and then letting it fly free. Okay, we're moving on. We have two more here. And these are kind of more like reflection / self check-in things that you need to be writing down. So the first thing that I think is super important is a personal check-in. Now, you could do this monthly, you could do this quarterly. If you're really committed, you can do it weekly. And this is also something, it's common, like it's a common thing, but also the Full Focus planner system does have prompts every week to do this. I feel like weekly is a little crazy, but some things that you want to take note of at the end of the month or the end of the quarter when you do your personal check-in is, how are you feeling? Like, how are you feeling overall? Like, what is your mental health looking like? How are you feeling physically? What worked over the last month or quarter? Like, what decisions or things that you did or whatever, what worked? What didn't work? What needs to change? What do you need to change for the next quarter to make sure that it goes better than the last quarter? Because let's be real, we all have room for improvement. So it's doing something like this check-in, it's going to help you course correct, instead of pushing through burnout or exhaustion or those feelings of wanting to throw in the towel. And I also think it just encourages awareness and it encourages giving grace to yourself because not every day, every week, every month, every quarter is going to be perfect. You're not going to wake up and all of a sudden everything is going to be perfect and you're going to be a whole new person. You're going to be cooking every day and eating healthy and waking up at 6 a.m. and doing your miracle mornings. Like, it's just really not going to happen that way. And you have to make sure that you do it in slow steps. All of these changes that you probably want to make to make yourself a better entrepreneur or mom or wife, or if you're a gentleman, a husband, whatever. So it helps you kind of like figure out what worked, what's making you feel good, all of that stuff. And then the last thing, this kind of goes, and this is more of a daily thing. This I would be doing every single day. And this is especially important for high achievers like myself. And like probably you, that's why you're listening to Hustled Up, is your daily wins and your daily gratitude. Now, the wins are I love writing a daily win and I suck at it. I don't do this nearly as much as I should. But it's so important because writing your daily wins is going to keep your motivation high when shit hits the fan and when things get hard. And it trains your brain to see the progress that you make every week, every day, every, month, whatever it is. But I would be doing this every single day. And it kind of is like, think of it as your way of saying like, you're doing better than you think you are. You're doing more right than you realize. And I will have a day where like something is completely chaotic. Like I dropped the ball, I did something crazy, whatever. But then when I'm forced to go in and think, okay, well, what's my win? Because sometimes you have to force it. Sometimes you literally have to force this out of you when you feel like nothing you did was right. There is always something. And honestly, even if really like the day was so bad and you just can't think of anything, I have had days where I'm like, I survived a shitstorm of a day. I have done that. And that just shows you that you're capable and you can do hard things and you can survive hard stuff and you can go through it and come out stronger on the other side and rise from the ashes like a phoenix. Okay, I know I'm getting crazy, but like I really do. I'm really passionate about this. And in the same vein, gratitude kind of helps with this too. Like, what are you grateful for? What was something maybe that happened that you're grateful for, or somebody in your life that you're grateful for? Or sometimes it can be like super simple. Like when I used to write gratitude on a daily basis, I again haven't been doing it as much as I should, but I would write things like, it was sunny today. I'm really grateful for that. It just teaches you to see the joy and the good when things get bad. And it literally changes your brain. It like rewires it and it overall makes you a better person. So that is one of the most important things. And again, I haven't been doing it as much, but that's changing after today. And I hope it'll change for you as well. So I know that I gave you a lot. This is it. Those are the things. I'm not going to give you any more, I swear. But I know it's a lot. And so there's a couple things that I want to tell you to make sure you avoid. And the first thing is to make sure you don't overstuff it. Like, I know this is a lot, but stick to the top 3 on your to-do list. Don't over plan like your appointments or like spread things out. Don't think that you can like plan an unrealistic life and do 5 million things in a day. You can't. You need to make time for rest. And in fact, put the rest in your planner. Make time for rest. It makes it feel better. Because I have issues with this all the time. Like if I take time to kind of veg out, play some Animal Crossing, whatever it is, take a nap. If it's not in the planner, it makes me feel unproductive. But if I put it in the planner that I'm making time for this, like I have done my other top 3 things or my other top 2 things, but today is the day that I want to take a bubble bath. Today is the day that I want to play an hour of Animal Crossing. If you put it in your planner, it's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you feel more productive. It's not going to leave you feeling guilty, because I deal with that all the time. I validate those feelings. Another thing that you want to avoid is copying someone else's system. So I know online you'll find tons of inspo, and that's great, but you need to plan in a way that works for you. So if you see my paper planner and you're like, that's so cool, I love that, but like, I don't want to carry a book around, understand. There are plenty of digital planners. There's plenty of different ways to do this. And so you need to figure out a system that works for you and honor the season that you're in. So like, don't stress if somebody else has a lot of things in their planner and they're getting it all done and all these things. Just honor the season you're in. Don't let the planner become a source of pressure. Let it motivate you instead. Your planner should support you. It shouldn't stress you out. And it's okay to evolve your system or change your system as your life changes. Like I said, like a lot of things change on a quarterly level or a yearly level. And my planner from 4 years ago looks very different from my planner today. Um, so just make sure that you allow for that. And don't think that your ideal week or the things you want to do, it may change, and that's okay. You don't need perfection in your planner. You just need clarity. So with that being said, I hope that this was really I hope this was really helpful. I feel good about this. I love planning. You guys know this. I'm so nerdy about it. I'm so nerdy about planning. So I want to know, I would love to connect with you guys on a personal level. You guys know where to reach me. All of the social media links are down below, and my personal links are there too. Like if you want to talk to me on a personal, like very intimate level, I'm here. I'm here for you guys. And anybody who has messaged us in the past knows that we are like the most friendly people. We will welcome any questions you have, or if you want me to ever touch base on a topic, like on a more public level, I can do that for you too. But I want to know, I want you to slide into my DMs or the Hustle Haven Instagram DMs or whatever it is, or my email. Everything is linked, like I said. What sections are you going to be adding to your 2026 planner? And what are you most excited to add? And what is your word of the year? Because I still haven't gotten many responses from the last time we asked. And I want to know what your word of the year is. And um, if if you would love to do this, I would love to see it, a screenshot of your planner so that you can share it with me because I'm, like I said, a planner nerd. That would be amazing. You can follow us on Instagram at Hustle Haven LLC. I always forget it. And our email is hustle.podcast@gmail.com until we get a fancier email. And you can also post it to your own Instagram, tag us, whatever it is, just connect. Because I'm really excited to help you balance productivity and mindset and just overall real life, because this is what we're doing this year. We're achieving balance and we're going to be productive, but we're going to make sure we take care of ourselves in the progress. So I hope that this was a good episode. I tried not to talk too fast, so hopefully I didn't. And I look forward to connecting with you guys next week, and I'll see you then.